So, if you would like to just brief about what exactly the process is going to be, based on what document that we have received from the Maharashtra CET board. So, what would be the standard process for admission?
Okay. Standard procedure is like nowadays they just ask you to first do the registration. So candidate need to do the registration at their portal. So once they do register, they get their unique ID and they create a password on basis of the mobile number. So that once you put your mobile number gets registered on their system. So then every time you anything you put or you replace any document, everything you get your receipt on your mobile. And then second thing is that uploadation of a document. So whatever information data you fill up inside, as per that you do get the a list of documents next to that. So in case of a nationality, if the first portal is a nationality, in that you have to fill. So they will give you the list of documents you can apply. You can put a passport, you can put a living certificate, you can put a birth certificate, like that. So you have to select which document you are uploading, and then you have to upload that document.
Right.
So like that, they are every time they get the list. So you, as per the list, you have to upload the document, and then finish the final submit the procedure. So when you submit it, it reaches to the SC, that is the scrutiny center.
Okay.
Scrutiny center, based on whatever document you have uploaded, they check and verify. So basically they for verification they also have some guidelines that in particular document what needs to be verified. Like in case of a nationality, they generally look for the is the Indian national or not, or and then the names are matching or not. Then next is a candidature. The candidature is a type, B type, C type of a Maharashtra, or a OMS. For OMS candidature, they don't need any kind of other document, only nationality they require. So as per the requirement, they to all check all those documents which is uploaded, and name and everything. For category candidates like a caste, they generally check for the caste certificate, caste validity certificate, and NCL if it's applicable. Like in case of SC and ST candidate, they do not need a NCL certificate. That is a non-criminal certificate. But for other category candidates, they do require. Then
Okay.
there's a new category is a tuition fee waiver. So in case of tuition fee waiver or a ES economically weaker section, these two categories they need a family income which is less than 8 lakh. Now for that they have given a pro forma V. Apart from that, you can also upload uh, uh, ITR 5, which is a
Right.
income tax return receipt, which is come after you filing the income tax.
Right.
So that is also accepted. And then you also get an income certificate from the Tahsildar officer, that also accepted. So
Okay.
anything which is showing that your current past assessment year, that is a 1920 income is less than 8 lakh, you are qualified for that. So
Okay.
all these such documents you have to upload, and then those will get scrutinized. Now after scrutiny, it will be a you will get a your merit number. So once you they put a merit number for the provisional merit list, then after provisional merit list, they you can apply for the grievances if any changes needed. After grievances, there is the final merit list, and once you get a final merit list, you apply for the cap round one. So at a cap round one, you put your options as per your options. They allot you the institute. If you want, you will freeze it. If you don't want, if you remain for the second round, you just unfreeze it. Now the terminology every time changes. Sometimes they call unfreeze, sometimes float. So but basically meaning is the same.
Right. Okay.
And then finally, I this time they have already mentioned that only two rounds going to be there, not a third round. So every time there was a three round. After that, they put a one special round for the government colleges. After that, it was an institutional round. But this time they have mentioned it is only a two rounds, and then finally an institutional round. So
Okay.
then after at a second round, whatever college you get, you have to freeze it by default, and you have to reach out to the college institute, and you have to submit your documents.
Okay.
Then you can try for the institutional round. Because many students do same mistake that they do not want to take the college, so they don't go,
Hmm.
and they try for institutional round. And if you don't get any institutional round, you also lose out your previous admission which you have they have allotted you. So
Right.
take that admission and then go for it till uh, cutoff date. That is they this time they have mentioned is I think 15 or 16 January. So
Right.
till cutoff date, you are eligible to cancel your admission, and you can transfer in any other college, and you will get your fees back.
Okay. All
okay,
right.
as per the rule. So that's it. So this entire procedure basically goes at around 1 month. This
Mhm.
time they have cut short it in only in the 2 rounds, so that it should make it more faster.
Right.
But I request you all that put your options such a way that whatever your, and now not only you have to put options first in course wise also, you have to put whatever course you needed, you put those courses first, then as per the colleges. So like any particular candidate want to go for the pharmaceutics, then he should, or he or she should put all those colleges which they
Suitings.
are desired colleges in which the sutics is there, and the first options. So then immediately if you get it, you can go for it.
Right.
So
Okay.
that way you have to think. And option list, I think till last year it was I think 100 or 50, I'm not sure. So
Okay.
you can fill up to 100 colleges list in that
Okay.
particular option list. So you take guidance from the previous year students,
Right.
as well as there is on the website of MSCT they have mentioned the previous cutoff. So
Hmm.
from that also you will get to know what is your chances of getting admission over there.
Okay. Great. Perfect. So the cutoffs and all for individual colleges are mentioned on the website or
Yes,
generally?
yeah, individual colleges
Oh,
whatever,
great.
for only for the cap rounds. So
Right. Right.
the non cap
Yes.
round they generally do not mention.
Don't. Right. Perfect. Thank you, sir. So one question I always had was with respect to the GPAT stipend.
Okay.
So, is there any specific frequency of receiving the stipend, or is it dependent on institution to institution?
No, it is not dependent on institution. It is a nowadays it is a very transparent procedure. It is a stipend is the DBT process now. That is a direct benefit transfer. So
Great. Okay.
once you register in the particular institute for particular course, your names will reaches to the IICT, and once they register your name for the fellowship to the AICT portal, it is only I think first few months you do not get, but after that every month your institute sends the report of the biometric to the AICT, that what are the attendance for particular candidate, and then immediately I think within 10 days they get their stipend in their account.
Great.
So
Okay.
initially it takes time. I think few months it takes to regularize, but after that it is very regular.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, sir. Because I believe there were in the past there were a lot of
Hmm.
students who used to get stipend and very delayed,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
I have seen a lot of students struggling for that as well. So
Yes,
just wanted.
actually, that time the DBT was not mentioned there. So
Oh,
now, when they have initiated this direct benefit transfer procedure, it is very smooth.
great. Great. Absolutely. So, any top courses according to you
Uh,
for M Pharmacy?
courses, courses. Obviously, all these five main streams are really having a good scope ahead. Um, I cannot number you or rank
I
those
understand.
courses, but I can just tell you, apart from this regular pharmaceutics and pharmacology, and then pharma analysis or cognosy, uh, if any such courses which are dealing with the very niche areas such as natural drug product research or something like that, even bioprocess technology in ICT, uh, this is a really good course. And try to get the different kind of course which is not a routine in the inform. For same thing I will mention about this BPT course which is mentioned, it's available into the ICT. Now if you do the BPT you generally get MTech degree. Now, this is completely divergent from your MPharm.
Right.
But again I will say that the scope after that is very high to get a PhD as well as outside India, inside India, and to even have a industry
Okay.
jobs opportunities. So like such courses also available. So look at those courses, so focus over there and see is your interest is matching with it, because if you are having interest in some kind of uh, what you can say, in biotechnology mostly they are dealing with the uh, procedures which are isolation procedures and uh, uh, bio procedures, which are basically used for the purifications. Apart from that, they also deal with the chromatographic techniques, which is a analytical part. They also work with the biomolecules and their activities. It's a ecology part. So it's having a mixture of it. And
Right.
in ICT, those seats are they have diversified in different departments. So BPT, they have a few seats in pharmaceutics, few seats in the pharmacology, few seats in the chemical engineering. So those who are want to pursue their career in chemical engineering, they also can go there, and they allow pharmacists. So
Right. Okay.
such you should now look for such other courses and try to interdisciplinary. I will call that interdisciplinary courses where you can jump and you can change your little path apart from the pharmacy. You can move ahead, um,
Right.
and that will give you basically give you a good career path ahead. That's why I'm telling you. So
Okay.
if you do get admission in such courses, then also you should not mind it and should take it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, sir. So one question more related to the course selection is how would you recommend a student to select a course? Like there are different parameters. One would be the college, one would be probably the placement, one could be probably the guide who is going to be there, and also the content or the interest of the student. So, any specific sequence that you would like to suggest the students on what parameters should be kept first while selecting
Um,
the course?
yeah, while selecting the course, you first put the course at the top. That what your interest. If you are interested in particular course, you put that at the first place. After that, you take a college. Now, college is basically having a many other factors. So, not only college, the college reputation built by the faculty. So, faculty is definitely so
Absolutely.
where
Right.
the good faculty, only the college name will be the
Right.
having a good value or reputation. So faculty is the second, and then the placement.
Right.
So because so many times placements are not deciding factor for to taking admission in such courses,
Hmm.
because we are in professional courses. So every time we cannot judge their what you can say attributes on basis of the placement,
Right.
because placement is a secondary part. Once you come out from that, you generally don't go for the placement, you generally go for the higher study also as well. So
Right.
look for the course, then the college and the faculty, and then other criteria
Okay.
you can choose, because the placement every year varies, it is not
Yes,
constant.
it depends on the requirement of the
Yes,
organization.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Right. True, sir. Yes, absolutely correct. Sir, if you would like to just give a brief idea of how the MFARM curriculum is for 2 years.
Now, if you are taking admission in any institute, even all over India, all of India now, there's only one course there, or one syllabus there for following is the PCI syllabus. As per the PCI syllabus, first semester and second semester, you have only classwork, no lab work is there. You have a few subjects which are your main subjects, and another are the electives.
Hmm.
Electives you can choose as per the guidelines given by the university. So they have mentioned there are few electives and you can choose those electives. Every semester I think you have two electives and a two or three core subjects for first two
Right.
semester. A third semester you have a lab work as well as a one core subject, that is a research methodology. And then final semester is only a lab work. So like entire course of a 2 years divided into the 4 semester. So first 2 semester you have only a theoretical subjects. Apart from that, they do have a seminar in I think first semester,
Okay.
and second semester and third semester they do have a they call it as a journal club. So
Okay.
journal club activity is there. So these are the two additional subjects they have put in the new curriculum.
Great.
Uh,
Okay.
so in journal club, you have to generally review the articles and then the discussion, and every journal club session will be evaluated, and that evaluation marks will reach at the and will consider for your final mark sheet.
Okay. And so one general question that usually comes is some students who did not qualify GPAT,
Hmm.
how does it impact their admission process? Is there any difference in their admission procedure compared to the GPAT qualified admission procedure? And what else can they take care of?
Yes, definitely, because those who are GPAT qualified, they generally get a good rank in the final merit list, and GPAT non-qualified generally are there at the bottom. So definitely, they miss out the good colleges and good courses because they are not in a rank.
Hmm.
But apart from that, they are free to take the these non-sponsored sponsored seats. So those candidates who are having a less GPAT score, they can approach to a industry for the sponsorship letter, and if they get a sponsorship letter, they can get their desired course and desired college where they want to do. So that
Okay.
they can do one part, and till last round, if you remain there, there's a chances that many times, though you are not a GPAT qualifier, but people do get a admission because there are last moment there are many times there shuffling happens.
Right. Right.
And now this year I think the NIPER process already over,
Right.
so there is a less chances, but still you can keep a hopes for that.
Absolutely. Right. So, sir, any primary difference between a sponsored seat and a non-sponsored seat? So, like if a non-GPAT qualified student is giving a letter of industry sponsorship, what would be the difference between the two?
When you apply for the sponsorship, then your fees also different than your
Okay.
non-sponsorship,
Okay.
and you are only what you can say competing with those candidates who are
Okay.
having that letter. So
Okay.
then there will be a second criteria that they will see your GPAT score or maybe your BFARM score, where they will try to put you in onto the merit list.
Okay.
But then other all candidates are there into the sponsor, so they do not come in competition with those candidates who are applying for the sponsorship. So
Okay.
and always there's the chances that very rarely people apply for the sponsorship
Okay.
because fees also very high. I think I'm not sure, but it is maybe per year is around 3 to 4 lakh. I'm not sure about it,
Okay.
but it may be
Okay.
around that.
So that's for government colleges also the fees will be high.
I think government colleges do not have all MPharm courses nowadays. In Mumbai, I think there's hardly any government aided college remaining. All
Okay.
other colleges are private aided.
Private college. Right.
So only BPharm courses are run under the government aid. All other MPharm courses are private now in Mumbai. So there is no government aided courses. So yeah, fee is high.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. All right. And sir, anything that you would like to add that I might have missed out or the students might have missed out to ask you, sir?
And everything I think they have whatever they asked question, and I have tried to answer those all questions. I think it covered
Absolutely.
entire procedure. If anybody having any doubt, you can reach me out at manda.moik@gmail.com,
Sure.
and my phone number also with Pranav sir, so you can take it and anytime you can have a call to
Absolutely.
ask any question.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. I'm pretty sure these students have got enough information because there were a lot of students are confused because it being a very important step for their higher education. So, and they have invested good 2 years almost to prepare for GPAT and then going to their MPharm. So it's a very big step for them, and you are there at the right place to guide them, sir. So thank you so much for this.
Yeah.
And I will certainly ask the students to connect with you if
Yes,
required.
yes. I will say that all the best to all of you, and I hope I will see one of you in our college doing MPharm.
Soon, sir. Certainly. Nidhi, if you would like to ask your question first, then we'll ask
Uh,
it.
yeah, actually, my question was I was facing an issue that my BPharm was completed in 2018. So the
Okay.
mark sheet which we had received from the Mumbai University only has the grade point. मतलब उसमें they have not even given us the marks like
Okay.
कितना marks मिला था out of nothing. So I tried to find like the PDF form in which all the students and all of their marks are there. So I could find one of them. So
Okay.
that is fine. I will still get the marks. But if they ask me to upload the mark sheet, I have one um, डॉक्यूमेंट जिसमें
Hmm.
सिर्फ मेरा नाम है एंड आउट ऑफ मार्क्स टोटल मार्क्स एंड परसेंटेज लिखा है अंडर द लेटर हेड ऑफ माय कॉलेज तो इफ दे
Okay.
आज शुड आई अपलोड द एक्चुअल जो मार्कशीट है जिसमें सीजीपीए वाला पॉइंटर ही है या ये डालना चाहिए मुझे
See, if
Because
it is
this one has
asking.
the percentage written.
Okay, okay. See, till last year, they have given a choice that student can upload both in form of a percentage as well as in form of a grade. So, if in that case, you can even upload in the form of a grade. Apart from that, there is
Okay.
apart from that, if you want to put in the form of a marks in the form of a actual marks, then there is a formula for conversion, and
Okay.
that is available in the on Mumbai University website.
Website.
You need
Okay.
to
Okay.
search over there. Otherwise,
Okay.
formula also mentioned in current PCI syllabus, they have given in it. So if you go through that R2019 syllabus for MPharm, in
Okay.
that if you check now, you will get
Okay.
grade conversion formula. So you can do by both the ways.
Okay.
And to uploading a document, if you don't have a mark sheet yet in hand, a converted one, those gadget you can upload by taking the uh, your principal's signature on it. That will be valid
Okay.
document.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Nidhi, anything else to ask?
No, sir. Actually, I started filling today only, and that, yeah, the scholarship one.
Sponsorship.
I have 1 year of experience in the industry, and
Okay.
right now I'm doing an internship. It's not a proper
Hmm.
job. So there was an option of scholarship, non-scholarship, and both. So I was a little confused in that.
Scholarship or sponsorship? Okay.
Sponsorship.
Sponsorship.
Yeah.
I think many students have it the same query. What is a sponsorship and non-sponsor candidature? So sponsorship is basically you get it from the some industry. So they sponsor your master degree.
Okay.
This is they have included because there are few seats in many colleges which are divided, like they have generally divided in the sponsor and non-sponsor seats. So those non-sponsor seats they generally offer to the GPAT qualified candidate, those who get
Okay.
a stipend.
Hmm.
So those
Okay.
who get a stipend, they generally go for a non-sponsorship. Those who are not having stipend and they are working somewhere, and for those people, they allow to take admission by giving the sponsorship letter from that respective industry or company. They sponsor them for their masters. So that is a basic criteria that you need to have at one letter from the your sponsorer who will mention that the whatever fees will be given by that sponsorer.
Sponsor.
So
Okay.
that sponsorship letter is very important. Apart from that, you cannot try to or you cannot apply for such seats. So
Okay.
every year, what happens when there are no candidates apply for such seat, then they get converted at in the last round to the non-sponsor, and then
Okay.
those get allotted to the GPAT candidates. So everything every
Okay.
year it do happens. So, but still,
Okay.
if you
So
have any,
some
yeah.
seats are reserved for them. That
Yes,
is
yes, yes.
okay.
Every college is not. They do have a reservation for like in our college, that is a KMK. We have five
Hmm.
seats in each stream, each course. Out of that, three are non-sponsored, two are a sponsor. So those
Okay.
sponsorship get converted at the last moment.
Okay. Okay.
But this
Yeah.
is a cap seats I'm talking about. There are
Yeah.
few other seats which are non-cap, which are filled
Non-cap. Yeah.
by at a institute level.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, when we have to submit our documents to SC Scrutiny Center?
When means when you upload your all documents and you register on the portal, same day it reaches to the scrutiny center. Now scrutiny center are getting allotted randomly by software, so you don't get to know which scrutiny center are those documents are getting scrutinized. At the end of the scrutiny, you either get a verified or a query. So that time when they raise query or they confirm that application, you get to know that which scrutiny center has approved it or maybe rejected it. So you just need to do the registration and fill the form and upload the documents as per the requirements. If there is any kind of discrepancy, you will get to know on your portal itself. Then once you get to know which scrutiny center has denied or have made a discrepancy, you can personally contact on phone, or you can just write in the grievances. That option is given to you.
Okay,
So,
sir.
don't
Nothing
need
in
to-
hard copy, sir.
No, nothing
All
hard
everything
copy.
is compressed.
No,
Okay.
no. It is only at the time of your physical admission. So when you go to take a admission, at that time only at the college level or institute level, the administrative officers will check your all the documents in a physical manner. Till that, only online mode.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
सर मेरे पास सेम 8 का मार्कशीट नहीं है, मतलब कॉलेज ने प्रोवाइड नहीं किया अभी तक।
Okay.
तो
You are
प्रोविजनल
current year student or past year student?
नहीं, करंट ईयर।
Current year. You are from Mumbai University.
यस सर,
Okay. You don't have mark sheet,
यस सर।
but you have any kind of a result gadget copy, anything with you?
सर प्रोविजनल मार्कशीट आई हैव।
Okay. On that they have mentioned the marks.
यस सर।
Okay, then that's enough. Because if you don't have the final mark sheet, you can currently apply by the provisional one. Now, I have not checked because this year they have changed the entire procedure. So we don't get to know what is the tabs you are observing or you are seeing. But basically, when you try to upload any document, they generally have the different options. So in their options, if they mention that upload the provisional, you can go with the provisional. If you not mention a provisional, but if I mention about the mark sheet, you just upload those mark sheet. And if any query comes, you just mention that we have not received our final mark sheet. So it is up to the scrutiny center that they will accept or reject it. But they has to accept it because if it is not with you, they will definitely accept it.
ओके सर।
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask that whether only the Maharashtra colleges would be participating in this admission process or all colleges all over the India.
No, this is a MHCET portal, so it is only for the Maharashtra state colleges. So if you want to apply
Okay.
for the outside Maharashtra, then you have to go to the individual state portal, or maybe you can apply to the institute at a what you can say institute level. But this is only for the Maharashtra colleges. So if you once you
Okay.
register onto the MSc portal, all those colleges are you can apply.
Hiral, if you would like to ask a question.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, I belong to Gujarati community.
Okay.
So there is one college PNCP. So
Hmm.
sir, वहाँ पर Gujarati linguistic minority apply होता है.
Yes.
So what are the necessary documents which I have to upload?
There is a only thing needed is either leaving certificate from your previous institute. They should mention on your leaving certificate your mother tongue as a Gujarati, or there is simple pro forma O, which is there in the brochure. That is a self declaration. So it is just a self declaration.
Yes, sir. I have uploaded pro forma O.
Okay.
Sir, any affidavit or other
No,
document
nothing,
at the
nothing,
time of submission?
nothing at all.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a
Okay.
self declaration, and at the scrutiny level they only check a LC. So if your LC mention about the Gujarati as your mother tongue, then it will consider as your minority linguistic minority candidature. So no issue at all.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I
Thank
just want to add here a few more
Sure.
things that a child can take a mother tongue from both a father as well as, so if there is a chances that a father and mother from the different community, both you can take it. Only thing that it should be mentioned on your leaving certificate. So there are few candidates possibility there that a father from Gujarati and the mother from Sindhi. So it's up to the child, and only needed is a document proof that the child is having a mother tongue of that particular linguistic community. So that increases your chances, nothing else.
So, if I this question, like you said that if I could have both possibilities,
Hmm.
but when I was in my previous institute, like when I took admission in B pharmacy,
Hmm.
so that time since I was not aware, I think my leaving certificate from 12th standard would mention only one language.
Okay.
So
Okay.
how do I, if at all, if there is an opportunity for me to put my dad's language also?
So now it is a self declaration. So that's what I'm saying. So at the time of self declaration, if they ask at the college level that what is the proof, then you can just show your mother's living certificate or mother's birth certificate where it is mentioned her linguistic proof.
So
That
we
will be
can show
enough.
some of their documents as well.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, because मेरे डॉक्यूमेंट पे शायद दोनों लैंग्वेजेस ना लिखे हो, एक
Yes,
ही
yes,
लिखा होगा.
actually.
So,
And I think this is the law. They have, I think they have made a change in recent year only there, where child can take a mother tongue from both parents.
okay, all right, great. So that would help the students to increase the probability for admission.
Yes, yes.
Great.